Welcome to the Eclectic Thrifter and Crafter, where we thrift and craft with purpose. It's Tea Tuesday. Or in my world, Crafty Tuesday. Today, my tea is Lady Grey, and my cup is Hazel Atlas Amethyst. Hello. Well, let's have a cup of tea. And I am delighted to be able to share with you a wonderful gentleman today. And he's given me permission to share clips from his channel. His name is Darran T Scala. Mr. Scala's channel is D. Thomas Miniatures. The links to his channel are in the description below, as well as all the clips I've been allowed to share with you today. And here he is. A wonderful gentleman. His channel is absolutely amazing. And I've been able to collect all sorts of wonderful information from the favorite things he shares, the favorite tools he shares, as well as some of his wonderful guests. So I hope you'll look in the description below for all the links I'll be sharing. If you enjoy miniatures, follow his channel, sign up for his newsletter, as well as following his guests.
First and foremost, these are wood cutters. Another one of my favorite tools is, I don't know what this is called. And then finally, and very, very importantly, get yourself a gluing jig.
I found Mr. Scala to be an absolute enthusiastic and joyful delight. And here's one of his guests. Her name is Althea Chrome, and she is a micro-miniaturist and fiber artist. Please check the link in the description below for her interview. She is just a sweet, sweet woman. Miss Chrome makes her own needles. Absolutely amazing. Another wonderful guest of Mr. Scala's was Taylor Poore, an amazing and resourceful young man. I encourage you to visit Mr. Scala's site for his interview. He resourced so many wonderful things just that were not even meant to be miniatures and recreated them. Very inspiring. It made me feel really good about making fireplaces from picture frames. It's really so much fun to source outside of the miniature idea of what means to be a miniature. This is Steve Putnam. Absolutely gorgeous collection. His work and taste is incredible. I selected these images because these ceramic pots are made from paper mache and actually not ceramic. So it was very encouraging since I'm going to be working with paper mache in my project. I believe the artist that created these items has actually passed away. This is the small-scale potter's wheel I purchased a year or so ago, and I shared that with you recently. So I'm going to be doing my best to make as many of my own things as I can. This is also from the build of Mr. Putnam. What a delight. Please check out his interview at Mr. Scala's site. He shares with you many artists' names. Well, let's have another cup of tea and we'll get started on today's project, inspired by one of Mr. Scala's favorite things. This is a bin of leather and faux leather that I've put together over the years from purses that I've thrifted, intending to make luggage as well as upholster furniture. So this is what we're going to use today. I'll select a few junk rings from the findings box and then we can get started. I found a pattern for a little top hat online. I brought it to scale and this is what we're getting started on right now. I chose to use cardboard from my chipboard box. From Taylor Poore's interview, I think what I enjoyed the most was the fact that he started putting together miniatures from objects and materials that he already had in his possession, rather than run out and buy things, which that's what I enjoy doing the most. I tend to be an impulsive crafter, not an impulsive shopper, but an impulsive crafter. If I get it in my head, I really like that idea. I may not necessarily have the proper tools or the proper supplies to pull it off, but I'll go into my closet and do the best I can. And that's what we've done here today. I made sure to create a little tab on the inside of the top hat to attach it. It's something that one can tend to forget when making a pattern. I did not have any tacky glue right now. That's on my next shopping list for tools, such as the tools that Mr. Scala shared. I've put those on my shopping list for this coming month. I believe for the large build that I'm planning, which right out of the gate is probably unusual for some people, but I have been an artist off and on for the last 30 years. So for me, doing something that large scale, even though I've never done miniatures before, is fairly normal for me. Now, the little tabs I'm creating on the inside there will help the rim attach to the cylinder of the top hat. I think I would have preferred to use tacky glue. I've never used that before, but I don't think for such projects that clear glue is the best option, especially with cardboard. And it's better I find out these things now rather than later. We are almost ready for the next step. I did use foam board for the top of the hat. It keeps the cylinder quite sturdy. Now it's going to start looking more like a hat. We're going to add the flocking. This is our adhesive by Flockit, and I am in no way sponsored by any company. The flocking is also by Flockit. It comes in an assortment of colors and perfect for doing miniatures with making your own items. It's best if you have a piece of styrofoam ready to mount your armature if you are dipping like I'm doing in the flocking. So now our hat is drying. We're going to put that away and get started on our next step of the journey. Which one are we going to do? We'll see. I'm going to start out with some simple gift wrap tubing. I'm going to measure it to the top of the hat and give it space for top and bottom for storage. When I make another one in the future, I believe I'm going to use a thin veneer wood. This was a spur of the moment project, so I think when I'm bending wood for other pieces of furniture, I believe I'm going to make another one of these hat boxes out of veneer. It was an awful lot of fun to do. It did take quite some time because I was making my own pattern as I went along. I have the picture posted above me on a little bulletin board. I did add this painter's tape as support when sealing up the tube. And I do like the idea of bending veneer in the future. Now I'll take my brown marker and darken the edges because it will blend in with the brown leather. And you'll have to do it with all sides, even with the little straps that will attach the lid to the box. I used a stir stick to measure the width. Make sure you always keep a sharp blade on your rotary cutter. The stir stick just happened to be just the right width for what I needed for the straps. This is where I used my first jump ring. And I did just seal everything with hot glue. Now I'm going to bring that leather strap all the way through the inside, and you'll see why in just one moment. This is the base. I have scored it all around the edge, so it will go right down the center on the inside. You'll see that at this time I only have a single jump ring. I did go back and put an additional jump ring on the bottom to anchor the strap down. And that's how finished it looks. And now we'll work on the lining. I attached the lining to the cardstock with a simple clear glue. In the future, I will probably use the tacky glue rather than hot glue for projects such as this. We're halfway there. Now for the lid. Not too bad. We're going to cover up that seam in the back. And this is the strap that we'll use to attach to the lid. Now for the lid, I did use a heavier piece of cardboard. And you have to make sure you measure it just a bit bigger. Mine may have been a little bit too big, but since this is my first try, not so bad. It'll become one of the little pieces that I put in the attic, and so I'm not too disappointed in the results. At this point, for the rim of the lid, I changed to a thicker cardboard I gleaned from a tube of embroidery thread. Because this was a spontaneous crafting moment, I hesitate to tell you how many hours it took. But here we are, and I'm absolutely really delighted. It is quite primitive, but it makes me very happy. Check out the links in the description below for Mr. Scala's website and his channel, as well as the channel and all of the wonderful interviews of his many guests. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe. Share my thrifting and crafting channel with your thrifting and crafting friends. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Check us out on Instagram and tap that notification button for upcoming announcements of thrifts and crafts. But most of all, have a lovely, lovely day.